The stadium went silent. Millions watched in disbelief. And in one unforgettable moment, the entire sports world changed.
Oh, man, it really did.
Welcome to HAUP Sports. Join us as we uncover the biggest stories in sports, from legendary performances and shocking controversies to locker room drama, trades, rivalries, and the moments that redefine the game.
Yeah, we dive deep into the stories behind the athletes, the teams, and, the headlines that are really shaping the sports world.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, I want you to really picture the scene. It's a sun-drenched Sunday, June 7, 2026.
Beautiful day for tennis.
Right. You are standing in the stands at Court Philippe Chatrier in Paris. The women's doubles final has just wrapped up. Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend, they just took the trophy.
Amazing match, by the way.
Incredible. So the crushed red clay is practically glowing in this late afternoon sun. And now we get to the headline story, the men's singles final. It's world number 3, Alexander Zverev, facing off against
A 24-year-old Italian underdog, Flavio Cobolli.
Yeah, it's the kind of matchup that it practically writes its own script.
It really does.
Yeah.
You've got the established veteran who's just desperately chasing this crowning achievement, right? This young upstart stepping onto the biggest stage of his entire life.
But to really understand what Alexander Zverev is feeling when he walks out from that tunnel onto the Parisian clay, we actually have to look backward.
Right, the history.
Because he enters this match as the overwhelming favorite, sure, but he is carrying just this crushing weight of past failures.
Oh, absolutely crushing.
Yeah.
I mean, Yuba Tennis and The Guardian have talked about this a lot. His history in major finals is just agonizing.
Yeah.
Before this match even started, he was carrying an 0-3 record in Grand Slam finals. And it's not just the record, it's how he lost them.
Right, the way it happened.
Like, you go back to the 2020 U.S. Open. He had a 2-set lead over Dominic Thiem, serving for the championship. And you could literally see his arm tighten up, his swing gets shorter, and he gave it all away.
Which is brutal enough on its own.
But then you flash forward to the 2024 French Open, right there at Roland Garros. He's up 2-1 over Carlos Alcaraz, and the physical cramping hits. The mental fatigue sets in. Alcaraz just snatches the trophy.
And then last year, too.
Exactly, the 2025 Australian Open.
Yeah.
Jannik Sinner just clinically dismantles him in straight sets.
So it's just this brutal resume of near misses, and that creates a massive psychological hurdle. But, the pressure isn't just coming from the scoreboard or the ghosts of those past matches.
No, not at all.
There's this incredibly heavy vacuum of off-court noise surrounding him. And, according to reports from Second Servaces, we have to look at the controversies that have followed him.
Right, and just to be completely neutral and factual about the reporting here.
Yeah, taking absolute no sides.
Exactly. The documented facts are that in June of 2024, a legal proceeding concerning assault allegations against Zverev was discontinued following a €200,000 settlement. And this was after a previous ATP Tour investigation that ran from 2021 to 2023, involving allegations from Olga Sharapova, which ended with insufficient evidence.
So, purely from an athletic environmental standpoint, that generates an immense amount of global media scrutiny.
Oh, massive. It creates this atmosphere that is just so heavy and dissonant. And for Zverev, the professional reality is that he has to treat all of that noise as a vacuum. He has to completely tune it out to maintain the singular focus you need for elite 5-set tennis on clay.
But I have to ask, is walking onto the court with that much historical and media baggage, is that like trying to run a marathon in a weighted vest?
That's a great way to put it, actually.
Because the human brain isn't designed to just switch off that kind of cognitive load. How does a player physically compartmentalize that?
Well, the thing is, cognitive load translates directly to physical fatigue.
Really? Like 1-to-1?
Pretty much. When your mind is simultaneously processing, the trauma of finals past, the noise of the global press, and, oh yeah, the geometry of an incoming 130-mile-per-hour serve.
Right, just that minor detail.
Your nervous system is in total overdrive.
Yeah.
Your brain is burning glucose at this highly elevated rate.
Yeah.
And that mental strain steals these tiny fractions of a second from your physical reaction time.
Wow.
It makes your fast twitch muscles just a little bit tighter. So compartmentalization at that level requires a psychological callousing that very few human beings actually have.
And any crack in that armor, I imagine, manifests physically?
Exactly. A tightened grip on the racket. A sudden inability to move your feet.
Which is fascinating. And this is great, that is not even the weirdest part of this matchup.
Not even close.
Wait until you hear the bizarre way his opponent actually made it to this final.
Yeah. So according to the Independent and the Roland Garros official site, Flavio Cobolli hadn't played a single point of competitive tennis since Wednesday.
Wednesday, that is 4 whole days.
Right. He received a walkover in the semifinals because his scheduled opponent, his fellow Italian Matteo Arnaldi, had to withdraw with a severe virus. So while Zverev was out there battling through this grueling 4-set semi against Jakub Mensik, fighting for his life on the clay, keeping his muscles engaged, Cobolli was essentially just chilling in his hotel room.
Wait, are you saying a 4-day rest is a bad thing?
In tennis. Yeah.
Because in almost every other major sport, basketball, football, hockey, getting a bye week or extra days off is the ultimate advantage. Teams would kill for that kind of rest.
Yeah.
Why is tennis different?
Because tennis is fundamentally a sport of micro-timing and visual tracking.
Okay, break that down.
Over a 2-week Grand Slam, players build a rhythm. They get attuned to the exact bounce of the ball off that crush brick, the roar of the crowd, the specific tension of a break point.
Right.
The kinetic chain, which is the way a player transfers energy from their feet through their hips into their shoulder and out through the racket. It requires constant rhythmic repetition to stay fluid.
So when you take 4 days off.
You get rusty, the fast-twitch muscles cool down, suddenly tracking a 130-mile-per-hour serve gets blurry. Cobolli lost his rhythm completely. He went from a low-stakes Tuesday quarterfinal straight into the blinding lights of a Sunday final.
The dress rehearsal was canceled and the curtains just flew open.
Beautifully said. And the stage fright was just blinding.
It really was. I mean, let's break down the stats of that first set, because calling it a dismantling almost feels like an understatement.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath.
Zverev absolutely dominates. He takes the first set 6-1 in just 35 minutes.
35 minutes for a Grand Slam final set is a blink of an eye.
It's nothing. Cobolli looks completely frozen in place. He commits 16 unforced errors in that short window.
He was spraying the ball everywhere because when you lose your visual tracking, you start swinging late. Cobolli was trying to hit lines that simply weren't there. He was rushing his shots because the occasion was clearly overwhelming him.
Right. He was suffocating under the pressure. And on the other side of the net, Zverev looked, impregnable.
He really did.
His serve was a massive weapon right out of the gate, landing huge first serves, winning quick points, completely avoiding long rallies.
Yep.
And he even got a bit of luck, too. Remember that one cross-court backhand?
Oh, the net cord?
Yes. Zverev unloads on it. It smacks the tape of the net cord, pops straight up in the air, and drops perfectly dead on the other side. I mean, you could almost feel the air completely deflate out of Cobolli's side of the court.
Oh, it's the worst feeling. When you're already fighting your own nerves, your legs feel like lead, and then you see the net cord favor the overwhelming favorite. It feels like the universe is actively working against you.
Just a terrible mental blow.
Yeah, the physics of a net cord are totally random, but psychologically it is devastating. Zverev broke Cobolli thrice in that first set. It was a masterclass in capitalizing on an opponent's nervous energy.
Absolutely. And real quick, if you're loving these sports deep dives and the tactical breakdowns we're getting into, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even bigger stories coming up.
Definitely hit that subscribe button.
Because what happened after the final whistle of that first set? I mean, it shocked everyone.
It really was a total paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So Cobolli steps out for the second set, and suddenly it's like the tension in the shoulders just evaporates.
It's just gone.
Yeah. He starts leaning into his shots. He begins hitting these massive, explosive, inside-out forehands that completely change the dynamic of the rallies.
Stop right there, actually, because I really want to understand the mechanics here. Why is the inside-out forehand where Cobolli literally runs around his own backhand to hit a forehand cross-court? Why is that so specifically damaging to someone like Alexander Zverev?
Okay, so if we look at the tactical analysis from second serve aces, it comes down to biomechanics.
Okay.
Zverev is tall. He's 6'6", so his center of gravity is exceptionally high. He wants to dictate the terms of engagement with a neutral pace, planting his feet deep behind the baseline and just trading heavy rhythmic ground strokes.
Right, he wants a slugfest.
Exactly. Lateral change of direction speed is his vulnerability.
Yeah.
So when Cobolli hits an inside-out forehand, he is pulling Zverev entirely off the court, way into the tram lines.
Oh, forcing him to move laterally.
Yes. Zverev has to slide on that slippery clay, plant his massive frame, stop his momentum completely, and then try to recover all the way back to the center. Cobolli essentially turned the baseline geometry into a track meet.
He exhausts him.
Right.
He exploits the physical limitations of a taller player.
Exactly.
And here's where it gets incredibly bizarre and honestly fascinating. There's this detail picked up by the TNT sports broadcast.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
It's so good. Cobolli is finding his rhythm, right? The crowd is starting to murmur, and he hits this massive ace, and then, in a moment of pure, raw superstition, he demands that the ball kids give him the exact same ball back.
It's pure theater. I mean, you have a stadium of 15,000 people, millions watching worldwide, the pressure of a Grand Slam final bearing down. And this 24-year-old is meticulously ensuring he has the exact same fuzzy yellow sphere because he liked the magic it just gave him.
It's hilarious.
Tennis players are notoriously superstitious, but to actually halt the momentum of a final to hunt down one specific ball,
Yeah.
that is wild.
And what does he do with that lucky ball?
Oh, it's perfect.
He uses it to win the very next point with a flawless, perfectly executed serve and volley. He rushes the net, catches Zverev completely off guard, and just buries the volley.
And that serve and volley, that was the spark. It ignited the entire stadium. Suddenly, it wasn't a coronation for Zverev anymore, you know? It was a street fight.
And the Parisian crowd loves a fighter.
They love it. They began roaring for every single point Cobolli won.
And on the flip side, The Independent reported that Zverev literally began to boil over in the Paris heat. You could see the frustration physically manifesting.
Oh, wait.
He starts chirping aggressively at his coach's box, tossing his hands up in despair. The double faults start creeping into his service games. I mean, he looked completely rattled. Those Grand Slam demons we talked about earlier.
They were back.
You could practically see them sitting on his shoulder, whispering in his ear.
Yeah, analyst Jim Courier on TNT Sports pointed out exactly when the panic set in. Zverev suddenly couldn't convert his game points. That mental callousing we discussed earlier completely dissolved.
It's gone.
There was this one grueling, lung-busting 23-shot rally. You could just picture the clay sticking to their shoes, the heavy breathing.
Oh, man.
Zverev is pushing the ball. He's playing not to lose, terrified of making a mistake, while Cobolli is swinging freely, playing to win. And at the end of 23 shots, it's Zverev's forehand, which is historically his shaky side under pressure, that completely falls apart and goes wide into the alley.
Wow. You know, according to Second Serve Aces, Zverev's weakness was always going to be his second serve defense and managing his forehand under pressure. But I have to push you on this. Did Cobolli actually figure out the baseline geometry? Or did Zverev simply choke and beat himself in that second set?
It's really a domino effect of causality.
Okay, how so?
Cobolli's tactical shift attacking the short ball, using that inside-out forehand to expose Zverev's movement that physically stressed Zverev. And that physical stress pushed Zverev outside his tactical comfort zone.
Ah, so the physical led to the mental.
Exactly. Once he was physically uncomfortable, the psychological unraveling began. Zverev's inability to emotionally regulate, to stop complaining to his box and just focus on his execution, that is what caused the unforced errors to pile up.
So Cobolli presented a complex physical problem and Zverev's mind just panicked trying to find the answer.
Nailed it.
Well, the Châtrier crowd completely erupts at this point. They throw all of their weight behind the young Italian. Cobolli breaks Zverev's serve, and he takes the second set 6-4. I mean, the stadium is literally shaking.
And if you look closely at the stands, there was this incredibly historic cinematic visual playing out amidst all that chaos. Sitting right there in the VIP section watching closely is Adriano Panatta.
Oh, wow. For those who might not know the history, Panatta is an absolute legend of the sport. He is the last Italian man to win Roland Garros, exactly 50 years ago in 1976.
Right. He was known for his incredible flair, his emotion, his connection with the crowd. And here he is, half a century later, watching this 24-year-old kid from Rome channel that exact same fiery energy to level the match against the world number 3.
The historical poetry of that is staggering. A 50-year legacy staring down from the stands while the current generation fights on the clay.
It's just beautiful.
Now, later in the Duck Dive, we'll break down the moment fans still can't stop arguing about. But first, consider what this means for the rest of the match. That invincible armor Zverev wore in the first 35 minutes cracked wide open.
Wide open.
Stay tuned and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in the sports world.
Yeah, because the psychological warfare of a tied Grand Slam final is unlike anything else in sports. I mean, Zverev had to go to the locker room knowing that he had let another massive lead slip, while Cobolli realized, hey, I actually belong on this court.
And the momentum from that second set cascades entirely. Cobolli doesn't just level the match, he breaks Zverev's spirit. The narrative promised in our headline, Alexander Zverev's Grand Slam dream, shocked by Cobolli, it comes to absolute fruition.
It really does.
The underdog rides that wave of baseline mastery and crowd energy to pull off one of the most stunning upsets in modern tennis history. He actually does it.
Because the sheer weight of those past finals, combined with Cobolli's relentless tactical pressure, it simply crushed Zverev's defense in the final frames.
Yeah.
It became a perfect storm, an inspired challenger executing a flawless game plan against a favorite who just could not stop fighting his own internal demons.
So as we wrap up our analysis of this incredible showdown based on the sources we've poured through today, we want to leave you, the listener, with something to really chew on, something that goes beyond just the mechanics of an inside-out forehand.
Right, looking at the macro implications of this match.
Yeah.
Because the stakes extend far beyond just that silver trophy in Paris.
Absolutely.
With Zverev losing this match after winning the first set so dominantly, does the choker label in major finals become a permanent stain on his legacy?
That is a harsh question, but a fair one.
I mean, we are talking about a player with immense talent, Olympic gold, and Masters titles galore, but falling to 0-4 in Grand Slam finals. That poses a brutal question. Does the tennis world permanently brand him as the man who could not conquer his own mind when it mattered most?
Because no amount of Masters 1000 trophies can easily erase that kind of historical narrative.
Exactly.
It is a heavy question. And on the flip side, think about Flavio Cobolli. By completing this monumental upset, what happens to the landscape of Italian tennis?
Oh, that's fast.
Right, because Jannik Sinner has been the undisputed golden boy, the world #1, the clinical, stoic assassin of the sport. But with Cobolli winning in Paris, playing with his heart on his sleeve, demanding lucky balls from the ball kids, firing up the crowd with pure emotion, does he instantly usurp Sinner as the new emotional heartbeat of Italian tennis?
It's the classic contrast in sports personalities, isn't it?
Totally. You have the ice-cold tactician versus the fiery showman. Does the country fall in love with the fiery, unpredictable underdog over the calm, consistent champion?
The fallout from this final and how the fans choose to embrace Cobolli's chaotic brilliance, I really think that will shape the narrative of European tennis for years to come.
You've been listening to HAUP Sports, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping the world of sports.
Thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the game alive.